Dude, go. You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. All right, Dave.
It's okay. We'll make up for it in 2024.
It's spring break right now, but that doesn't mean we don't have spring notes. And I saw our boy Keon Zipper. He's in Jamaica right now, having a good old time. I saw on his Instagram. So it's good to see some guys getting around. See some guys in New York doing some business trips. So good to see everyone's having a good time. But we did have some notes from this past weekend before everybody left, and we're going to pass it over to you, Mr. Soderquist, to give us some more updates.
Man, it looks like Jonathan Odom was on his Instagram. Looks like he's at some EDM concert. It looked pretty cool. I like EDM music, so that's a pretty cool thing to see from Jonathan Odom. At least he's having fun on his spring break. But yes, day 4, we did not discuss day 4 before the, I guess the spring break week ended, and they'll get back to practice here this Sunday on the 19th. But day 4, these are notes that were shared on the Gator Collective message board. So if you want to join the Gator Collective message board, it's an extra $5 a month. I can't give it all away, but I'll give some of it away, tease you, and maybe you pay that extra $5. Head on over there.
Look at Dave.
Yeah, see? Look at me. Montrell Johnson, 40-plus yard touchdown run in that last practice. Ricky Pearsall did pretty well. Caleb Douglas is actually shining a little bit as well. Aiden Mazzell, this is a cool thing that I saw in a couple of the notes and some of the other nuggets I got from some of the other guys. He's returning kicks. That speed, returning kicks.
A little Percy Harvin action, boys.
Yeah, let's go. I think he ran a 10.400 meter. That's like 4.3 speed. So I did like that. And Arliss Boardingham, still making plays. Like, he's been quoted as a mismatch nightmare, but I do love to hear it. But from what I've really heard from a lot of people, Cameron Jackson is dominating, like completely dominating. That's probably the best guy in practice, I would say, since day 1 to day 4. Cameron Jackson, he just keeps making plays. And Jalen Kimber almost had a pick 6 too. He undercutted a route, dropped the pick 6.
Who did he pick off?
It would have been a pick 6. I do not know. It did not say that in the notes.
I love hearing that about Cameron Jackson. We obviously interviewed him on the show. Great energy. I think it was David Connor. I don't remember who he spoke to. It was either Connor or Javion Toombs, who either one of them said, I think they were talking about Cameron Jackson, kind of just being a voice. I've heard that name pop up a few times of being somebody kind of, just very making some moves, being vocal on the line, being explosive, firing everybody up. And he gets a transfer from Memphis, right? So love hearing that somebody that's coming in, he's new to the team, just taking, hey, I'm here. And he said that when we interviewed him, like, I'm coming in, like, I know I'm a new guy, but I'm a veteran. I know I've been here. I've done this. I'm coming here to win. So it was a young man that was hungry and ready to rock and roll. I got to get him on the sticks. I know he was playing mad when I interviewed him. So I love that. And speaking of Aiden Mazzell, our boy Levi, who sent us some good stuff, he's got some great products, workout products, has a cutout head of Aiden Mazzell. And so he's messaging me. He's like, I have this cutout. Yeah, fat head. That's what he said. He's a fat head. He goes, I made it one night, but now I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Do you want it? I go, fuck yeah. Like, come next season. Yeah, come next season. We're going to be flying around with big Aiden Mazzell heads. You know what I'm saying? And look, it's, you know what it is? It's from the show. It was when he was on the show and I told him that one kid committed to Texas and he gave him the big eyes. That's when it's from. So
when he returns his first kick, man, you're in the crowd. You hold that thing up, man. It'll get on TV.
I love it. I love hearing the spring ball talk. It's exciting just to hear everybody. It's catch-22, right? You hear pick 6, you hear a 40-yard touchdown. You're like, oh, that's great. But who dropped the ball? You know what I mean? Like, we're beating each other. So it's like, hey, who messed up? Who messed up? Speaking of throwing interceptions, Will Miles from Read and React, he's been going through some heat lately with his opinions, but he still writes great articles, regardless of how you feel about him. But he wrote an article about Max Brown, and I've talked about Max Brown. I brought up with Connor Clark. Connor Clark was like, no, Max Brown's number 3. And it's kind of funny to see Will Miles kind of be we're on the same boat, where he was saying he wrote the article to make the argument for why aren't we talking about Max Brown between Max and Graham, and then by the end of it, he was saying between Miller and Brown, kind of put Mertz to the wayside based on Miller's history in the system and things like that. Again, whether you agree with his opinion or not, it was just interesting to see because he brought up what you and I talked about last week. His high school numbers are insane. A 70% completion rate. I remember when Jameis Winston went 23 for 24 or 24 for 25 against, was it Pittsburgh or Syracuse the year they won the
game, right? The first game.
first or second game. And I was
Yeah,
like,
and they scored like 70 points.
yeah. And I remember him going, he basically had one incompletion. And I was like, having one incompletion in practice is hard. And I remember I was like, that's impressive. I hate it because it's FSU, but I remember seeing that, like, that's impressive. And like he said, a 70% completion rate. Now, I would like to know how far was the average pass. Was he throwing little thinkers? I don't know. But that's a lot to rely on, right? It's a two-way street here. So that's a big.
If you're throwing short passes and you got like a 70% completion rating, but your time to throw is really fast, like say 2.5 or something like that, you know where to go with the football. Like
Sure.
you know where it's going once the play develops. And of course, you're going to have a longer time to throw if the pass is deeper because the wide receiver's got to get out there and you got to have time to throw the football to him. But with 68 touchdowns, I'm pretty sure a lot of those passes were not short.
Yeah, I think. Look. Those numbers obviously speak to themselves. He also spoke to him being a dual athlete, and he's playing baseball right now currently in between doing spring balls from what I was reading on his article. And what he was saying was like, look, that speaks to somebody who's hungry, like a Bo Jackson or a Deion Sanders. I mean, that's not easy to do. DJ Lagway, and I think he started playing football his junior year and threw for those kind of numbers. So it's just interesting to see. I think we should be a little more comfortable knowing that that's back there as well. We get caught up in the stars and the rankings and whatever it may be. Mind you, Kyle Trask was a 3-star, okay? And we all miss and love Kyle Trask. Now,
Kadarius Toney was a 3-star quarterback, but a converted wide receiver, but still.
He's going to lose his job to Baker Mayfield, but either way,